Welcome, everyone. We're here at the Layer8 conference here in Providence, Rhode Island. I'm sitting with Michael James. He's an OSINT Analyst. Welcome, Michael.
Thank you. I appreciate having me.
Yes, and you're running an OSINT competition?
So we do the OSINT Village, and we're having a CTF through TraceLabs.
Okay, gotcha.
So TraceLabs is an organization that does OSINT for good.
Yeah.
So a lot of times we will go through and hook up with local law enforcement people to go through and see if there are missing persons that we can actually assist with. So something within the last 4 weeks, it's still an active open case that we're not stepping on their toes.
Interesting. So you, through TraceLabs,
Yep.
you work with law enforcement and say, okay, let me know about the open cases that you have and try and help them. So what's been like your success rate?
So it's a CTF style, so there's a lot of different flags that we get. It's anywhere from social media, name, whatever, on down to can you actually go through and find them.
No, wait, are these real cases?
These are real open cases.
In the CTF?
In the CTF.
Oh, that's really cool.
So like when I ran this for B-Sides Kansas City.
You went to Kansas City law enforcement?
So we went to the Kansas City law enforcement. We did it from Kansas City to St. Louis. And we had a 100% success rate on one person found them.
Wow.
Yeah, actually released that information over to, I believe it was Kansas City or KCPD.
That is so cool.
Right.
I love it.
It's OSINT for good or whatever. We come to these conferences and you want to be able to go through and use the skills and things that you've learned, but you don't want to go to jail.
Yeah.
So this is an opportunity for a lot of people to go through and kind of stretch their wings, go through and see what they can do, searching through social media, searching through other things, wherever to go through and get all that stuff set up. So, yeah, and it ranges anywhere from teens to adults, all that stuff. So,
what are some of the most effective methods in OSINT that lead to those older cases being solved, essentially?
So everything that we do is pretty fresh, but the most effective is still going to be social media.
Interesting.
For whatever reason, social media still is one of the best ways to go through and get the information. It's live. We can get friends, we can get family, first associates, second associates. So it's
even if that person didn't have too much of a digital footprint,
absolutely,
you expand out into their family and friends.
Sure. Yeah. So tags and posts and stuff like that. People who tag other people in Facebook or Pinterest. Getting all that stuff. Twitter's a big asset there. And then using a lot of the tools like Wayback Machine and things like that to go through and kind of see a pattern of where they are, when they left off, who's reporting to them, and stuff like that. So, yeah.
And now to get this information from social media, are there tools that you use, or is it a lot more of manual?
So it's a combination of both. I know like Intel Techniques has their set of tools that unfortunately as of like 2 days ago just all got taken down because of abuses that were happening on their sites.
Is that Michael Bazell's?
Yep, all his stuff. And I know he's been on with you
guys
guys
before.
Yeah. Yeah, so because of some of the abuses he's had, they've had cease and desist for a couple things that came through, and so they had to go through and shut that down. They are still offering it for their training, so if you do their private training, you still get their access to the tools.
Yep.
But open source means, a lot of stuff is on GitHub. So if you're using Spiderfoot or if you're using even OSINT framework for Justin Nordine, his site.
Yep.
That stuff does a lot of really good stuff. There's a lot of forums like OSINT.team is one of the ones I'm an admin for or whatever, and there's a lot of resources that people post in there. It's a good place to go through and learn or ask questions if you're kind of starting out. But
you could write your own tools
absolutely.
to the interface with social media. I think the issue is the limitations in the API. Outside of security, I've written code that interfaces with the APIs, and you just run into all kinds of
especially
limitations.
the Twitter API with the 500 pull downs and things like that, and the API limiting. So everything's moving towards kind of paid tools and stuff like access for the API stuff. So Spiderfoot, which is an amazing, very lightweight product, wherever allows you to go through and do a lot of that stuff, and it's very multifunctional because you can actually do OSINT on people, places, or things, and then you can also do domains and malware and things like that. So it allows you to go through and do everything kind of in one, but it's the API usage that kind of blocks you out.
Right. That's all. I think I've had better luck with the specific tools than I have with Michael's tools in his. I think Michael's tools on his website are more of like a teaching, learning kind of thing.
Yeah.
I've had much better luck with more specific tools.
And anytime I give a training or I talk to anybody, we will always go through and say that we want you to learn manually how to go through and verify the information first and doing it. Because at that point, then if you're using a tool, you know how the tool works.
And you're using Michael's Buscador?
Buscador. Yeah, written by him and David Westcott. Yeah.
That's a great
it's amazing.
distribution, right?
Plus,
because everything's
VM.
there for you. You're ready to go, right?
Yeah, and they have custom search engines in there. They've got Instagram, so InstaLooter. They've got Hate Mail. They've got Spiderfoot. They've got a lot of tools that are specific for the jobs, but allow you to go through and just have one package. So it's kind of nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Michael, thank you so much.
I appreciate being on here. This is great.